Well, Lewis, Republicans finally did it. After 61 failed votes, the Republican-led House of Representatives finally passed a bill repealing Obamacare and sent the bill to President Obama. Of course, President Obama is going to veto it, and that is no surprise whatsoever. This was basically a party line vote in the House, 240 to 181. The legislation had already passed the Senate last year under some special rules that protected it from Democratic blocking. What can we even say about this? I mean, the good news is this is vote number 62, and still the repeal is not going to happen. The scary news, and I know you know what it is, Lewis, is that it did manage to pass the Senate. It did manage to pass the House. If there were a Republican president in office, that president could sign off on this. And that is yet another reason why we need to be very worried about a Republican winning the White House in 2016.
It is a worry. I think that, of course, everyone in the House and Senate knew this bill would be vetoed, right? So, I mean, what would you call it? Would you call it grandstanding?
I would call it theater.
Theater?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it's theater. Look what we did. We passed this. We voted on this. It's the president's fault. The president isn't representing the will of the people. We are, that type of thing. So, yeah, but still, I guess we should be concerned. The thing is that if this were to play out like that and the president does not veto the bill that lands on the desk, signs off on it, it could be one of those things where it takes many, many years for Obamacare to actually be phased out.
Yeah, the idea at this point that if President Obama or President Cruz or Rubio or Trump or whoever signs off on it, that all of a sudden, poof, the Affordable Care Act and everything it brought is gone, is absolutely ridiculous. There are pieces of the Affordable Care Act that have been codified in law. There are people who now have health insurance plans that are that exist because of the Affordable Care Act. So you can't just, it doesn't all just poof disappear into thin air like a genie after your third wish, right? I mean, you have to go through a process here. What will be the health insurance plan of those individuals who have gotten on these subsidized plans through these exchanges? What do? There is no plan. Don't forget that there is no plan from the right as to what happens. It doesn't just all go away.
Yeah, and realistically, with opposition from Democrats and just thinking about the logistics of this, it could take more than one presidential term for this to be phased out or to start being phased out. And
Right.
at that point, it could come back again under another name, under another form. It's just such a mess.
And we are not irrational cheerleaders of the Affordable Care Act. Yes, the Affordable Care Act has given more people access to the for-profit healthcare system, and it has seen slower growth in prices than maybe would have seen without it. But this is not some utopian victory. Yeah, we've made some improvements, but we have a laughably disastrous healthcare paradigm in the United States compared to other countries at our level of development. And the Tea Party types would go back to when, hey, you've got a pre-existing condition, that's your fault, and you must be punished for that by not being allowed to have health insurance. We have to remember what the sort of barometers and goalposts are here. We have an improvement. What the Tea Party types want is horribly, I mean, it's hellish. It's hellish what they want. But what we should have is also much different than what the Affordable Care Act has provided. The practicality, right, of the Affordable Care Act doing what we think it should have done, fine, it wasn't doable. But we really need to keep in mind the context here.
Yeah, the context. Our health is privatized and for profit. That's
Right.
the context. If that's the world you want to live in, I think there's something very wrong with you.
We have Twitter accounts. The show is on Twitter at David Pakman Show. Lewis is on Twitter at Lewis Motamedy. I am on Twitter at DPakman. We'll take a break. Send us your thoughts about this story on Twitter. Much more after this.